You mentioned your father. What have you learned from your dad? You mentioned he was an important part of your childhood.
My dad is amazing. I grew up, we didn't have a lot of money, but it doesn't mean if I'm born in a nice country that always nice thing happen, you know. My dad for me is a big role model because I see him through my life facing a lot of adversity. You know, he stopped drinking when I was a teenager. He was an alcoholic. And I've seen him struggle through that, you know, and it was very, very hard. And I've seen him work like crazy hours, like leave in the morning, come home at night, burned out because of work through almost all his life, to the point that it became a slave of the system.
Yes.
It became an habit and a normal way of living. And it made me realize that I've learned a lot through my father. He taught me perseverance, hard work, you know, when you face adversity, you know, to never give up until you achieve it. But also he taught me a lesson that, in a way that I don't want to be like him, even if he is happy. It's because I realize I don't think he knows anything else. Like, he works through all his life, and I don't want to live to work. I want to work for you know what I mean? I want to decide when I work, you know? I feel like he lived to work instead of working for a living. And perhaps it's because he did not have choice. He was the older of his family. They were 9 kids. His dad, my grandfather, died when he was young, so he had to become the father of the family and work to put money on the table. So perhaps that's what made him that way, and it became like an habit for him. My dad taught me when I was at school. I was bullied at school. He's the first one who initiated me to martial art. He taught me karate. My dad was a black belt in Kyokushin karate as well.
Very nice.
But because he was working too much, he didn't have time to teach me, and I needed self-defense in order to defend myself. I have a great career in mixed martial art, but in the schoolyard,
that's a good mixed record.
my record is not very good. When you're a kid and you're about 7-8 years old and you're facing bullies that are 2 to 3 years older than yourself, it's not the same thing than when you're 25 and the guy is 28. So there is a big discrepancy in terms of maturity. So my dad introduced me to karate. Then he didn't have time to teach me. Then he put me in a school with a teacher. It was Jean Couture. And I grew up with a lot of anger. And there were 2 persons I was afraid growing up. It was my dad. My dad was very severe, very strict with me. And I'm glad he was, because I could have become very bad. I could have chosen a different path. People see me as a nice guy, and I am a nice guy. I try to be a good role model, but I could easily have turned towards a wrong
there's
path.
darkness somewhere in there.
Yes, there are a lot, and a lot of my friends have chosen that path, and unfortunately, you know, they are not with me today. Even if I'm from Canada, and Canada seems like the nicest country in the world, like I said, it's even if you live in a nice country, not always nice thing. It depends of the situation. But that's what my dad taught me, you know, and he gave me that because I'm very good at learning by observing people, and by observing him, I see the struggle he had with alcoholism and what he did, the pain sometimes that he inflicted to us, to my family, but how he did a 180 degree, and I really admire that. And I know it was very, very hard for him, and he did it, you know, and for me, that's a great role model for me.
So with your dad being an engine of basically hard work, and you finding a balance of being able to work your ass off, but also to be able to enjoy a piece of chocolate